Hey guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to Inside Renovation. Today on our series of these little daily decisions you can make to help make a difference in your life, we're going to talk about being a little less selfish. Pastor Kody.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very selfish, okay? I'm just going to say that first and foremost because I know what you're talking about in this episode.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just saying, I feel like we all have those selfish tendencies.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know that we kind of want to talk about in this little series of these daily decisions that you can make, helping yourself put other people's first.
That's right.
And that's what we're going to talk
Here's
about
what we're
in
gonna
the
start out
podcast
with.
today. Okay.
I have
Oh, God.
these. It is a cheesecake imposter. I don't know what it is. I've never had one, but I just
Not
figured
a little Debbie cake. That's what it's not.
I'm not going to eat it in front of you. And I just wanted to go first and serve you and give you some.
But can you see if it's good first? I don't know if I want to waste it. Is it good? Does it taste like cheesecake?
Bro. Mm-mm. What do you feel? I do good.
Is this one of those weird ASMR videos where we're like,
I hate those so much.
I hate them too. No,
It's like raspberry.
good.
Yeah, it's like raspberry yogurt cheesecakey.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
are they healthy?
I don't know.
They just feeding a 6-month pregnant woman some chocolate. All right, you are not selfish anymore
That's right.
because you're putting this baby first.
That's right. That's right. This is really making sure that the baby girl is good. I love you so much. You ain't even here yet. I prayed for you. I knew you were going to come when she wasn't sure you were going to be here.
God is good.
We prayed.
We did. We
That's right.
did. That's right.
Let's
All right.
talk about it.
So excuse us eating on the podcast. Just literally putting this baby.
And drinking Fiji water, which, by the way,
Oh, yeah. You have a story about Fiji water.
yeah, so I switched to it, trying to be all bougie.
Mm-hmm.
No, it happened to be available one day and I got some. I noticed, though, that I was preaching 4 services at one time, about to go to 5. I've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
My voice is good. I can handle it. I used to think maybe it's because I just belt during worship and I just sing the top of my lungs that's why I'm losing my voice. The only thing I've changed about my routine is not how loud I worship. It's Fiji water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm testing the theory this week. Found out it has 17 milligrams of salt in it. And I'm wondering if that's the thing that causes me to lose my voice.
Dehydration a little bit?
My goal is to drink all of this in this podcast. And we're going to see by the end
Yeah.
if it happens. But I usually preach 45 minutes. It won't be that long today. But let's talk about it. Let's talk around the idea of how to help other people grow, how to help other people feel important, how to lift other people above yourself.
Well, and I feel like this is not only important in leadership, but just life in general when it comes to whether it's
So
your
true.
job, whether it's to your friendships, your family, whatever it can be. Putting others first is kind of what we talked about last episode. It's a hard thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
but it is such an important thing to do because if we're not bringing people with us and we're not building up the next generation, then what are we here for? You know what I mean? What are we here for in general?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let you finish that.
I've been up way too much.
But we want to help others win.
Yeah.
And I know specifically in my industry, we kind of talked on this before where I work in radio. I'm a radio host and it's a very man-led industry, I guess you could say,
Mhm.
or male-dominated
There you go.
industry. There we go. And there's just so much of this mentality of if there's another girl doing something, I don't want to help her because then she's going to take my job. The competition is there.
Mhm.
There's just this weird female dynamic where it's well, I don't want her to be better than me. I don't want her to be better than me. I don't want her to take my job. And it's I want to be that person that they're hey, Brooke, can you listen to this? Can you help me to be better? And this past year, I've spoken on so many panels and I'm what do you want to know?
Yeah.
I'll tell you my secret sauce or
Right.
what it is.
Yep.
I want to help you get better because if I'm helping you get better, then it's just making the industry better, which is what we're all here for.
That's right.
Yeah.
A mission bigger than yourself.
Right.
And, I think that leaders are people who try to make everyone think that they're important.
Yeah.
Are leading from a place of insecurity.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And so for me, it's I don't want people to think that I'm this bigwig, super important. I want to make people feel important because they are. And what God has called me to do is pastor and preach the word. That doesn't mean my calling is better or greater than yours as a radio host,
right,
or someone as a nurse or a school teacher or 9-to-5 desk worker, whatever it may be. I think everyone is worthy of that and is valuable. And I think sometimes as leaders or people, we want to feel like the most important person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Eyes on me, look at me. And I think going to Jesus, I don't think ever Jesus walked into a space, into a room as God in the flesh and had the spirit of, hey, here I am.
Yeah.
It was, hey, there you are.
Yep.
It wasn't look at me, it was I see you. And that's a big difference. And that key word is humility.
Totally.
And literally he says, like, to put others above yourself, consider others better than yourself. It's not thinking less of yourself as if you're not valuable, but it's thinking of yourself less, because that's the tendency is like we lean towards and watch over ourselves. Like we think about us first. My opinion matters. What I do is more important. And I want everybody to look at me. And I think this is the reason people tend to fail, is because I don't think we were created for all of the attention to be on us.
No.
Like, you're not created to live life in a spotlight. That's literally like the definition of pride, is like I'm trying to elevate myself to a place that's higher and above everyone else. And then we get surprised when we fall.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's what happens. Pride comes before the fall. And so it's this idea of like, and pride isn't always like cocky. It's also like fear driven.
Yeah.
Like what you said, it comes from an insecurity. Like being insecure, a lot of times we'll kind of categorize people that like seem or come off like insecure, and people think they're being humble. But in fact, it's actually a form of pride. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that like, I'm afraid of, for instance, your industry, I'm afraid somebody else is going to be better than me.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to help someone because, well, they might take my job, rather than going, you know what, like I'm living for something bigger than a job.
Yeah.
And if I want to train people up. I want people to like, take it. Great. You do it, because if that means you can do it, that means like God has something different for me in mind.
Right.
And at the same time, it's like, if you'll train up a bunch of women, the right people will go, if we hadn't had Brooke, we wouldn't have all 8 people she's empowered or equipped or trained, or like our industry wouldn't be what it is. It can't all rise and fall on your voice on radio.
Yep.
Like you need other women, you need other voices. And that's an important thing to like get to that place. And in my line of work, man, like it is the most frustrating thing, you know, when there's like territorialism.
Yeah.
When it comes to churches, of like the competition of our church is Long Hollow down the street. Or the competition is another, like Cross Point or Grace Point or whatever other points there are. You know what I mean? Like, like it's like we're not in competition. Like, what are we talking about? We're not in competition with, you know, Northfield or United. Like, yo, like our city needs more churches. Like when I have a church planner come to me and they're like, yo, I'm coming to plant in your city. Let's
come on,
please.
Yes.
How old are you, bro? 20. Great. You're going to reach people I'm not going to reach.
Yes.
How can we resource you? Like, I'll tell you everything we screwed up on. I'll tell you everything we learned. If we can financially help you, we'll help you. And it's not even like, it's not, you can do that in a wrong way. You can do that to like put the eyes and attention on you.
Totally.
But it's also just going, you know what? Like, if you have a mission bigger than yourself, is it about you or is it about the mission? For me, it's like, I want to go, man, our church is mission minded. We have to model it.
Yep.
And that's by going, we got to elevate other people, not just elevate Renovation Church, not just elevate Kody. Like, that isn't the goal. And I think we just get to this point where we just want to feel important. And I guess let's go into, you know, maybe the marriage conversation a little bit of, I think this is the key to a thriving, successful marriage. Yeah. I've never met anyone whose marriage has fallen apart where each spouse is like, I am doing everything I can to serve the other person. Yeah. But every marriage, every relationship falling apart, what is it built around? Selfishness.
Yep.
Every time.
Yep.
And it is like, it is the number one killer of relationships. Yeah. It's not sex. It's not adultery. It's not money. The number one killer of all relationships is selfishness. Yep. Period. It's I'm looking out for me, myself, and I. And so we get into relationships with contractual mindsets of as long as you're good to me, I'll be good to you. Rather than going, you know what? I'm just going to serve you. Yep. I'm going to make sure that like I can do everything I can to help you succeed in life. Knowing that when I do that, it makes me a better leader. It makes me a better person. It helps me make a larger difference because instead of me trying to do it all on my own, now I've empowered 10 people to do it. Right. So instead of it's just my thing, it's our thing, and we can make a bigger difference doing it together rather than apart.
Well, and I love that you brought that up because I feel like I was just talking with some friends about this of how like when you get married, before you're married, you are kind of like in this selfish mindset. It's just you. You're just worrying about you. You don't have to worry about anything else. You get married and it's just like all your stuff comes together.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
And you're like trying to balance like, but I want this, but you want this. How do I make this happen? And it's just like that selfishness really tries to take over. And there is that like learning curve of like ebbs and flows of like, okay, I'm going to have to let this go this season and I'm just going to have to serve him for a while. And then there's the other times where he's going to have to be like, I'm going to have to let these go for this season and I'm going to have to serve her. You know what I mean? And it's just like those ebbs and flows, but it's not just in marriage. I feel like it's in your job. It's in relationships, your friendships. It's in your family. It's in, there's so many things that
parenting is coming to mind.
Yes.
There is nothing more that has revealed my selfishness than having kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, I would say my and our, like Jessica and I, so biblically two become one. So we're one.
Yeah.
We're selfish as one.
Totally.
Of like what we want to do. And nothing has like shown us our sense of we care about ourselves more than anything else than our own kids. And like daily we're having to be like, and it's just, it's part of it. It's, I have to make you feel important. I have to make you feel valued and loved and seen and all those things. And I think that's what Jesus modeled. And I think that's where we model our life after. You know, and it's organizationally, I think about as leaders, maybe you're a business owner and you're watching this, I think this is the difference this is the idea of like extreme ownership. Mm-hmm. It is when something goes well and a win happens and it's like, man, we celebrated it. You have an option. You can take credit for the win.
Yeah.
Or you can give credit for the win.
That's right.
And I've just found like the moments where I've tried to take the credit for the win, man, it will kill the passion on your team. Mm-hmm. And here's what a lot of times we'll do naturally. We want credit for the success and we want to blame for the failure.
That's right.
Oh, it's not my, oh, wait, it failed? Well, wait a second. It's not me.
It's you.
It was my employees.
Yep.
It was my team. It was, and it's like, wait a second, who hired them?
Yep.
You did. So the very people you complaining about and you don't like, you're the one that picked them. So whose fault is it? Yours or their fault?
Right.
Is it their fault that they're lazy? You hired somebody lazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't do your homework. You didn't ask the questions. Right. What did you do? You made an immediate, quick decision to fill a hire, fill a role. Oh, I found somebody who would do this and get this fixed now. Oh, crap, I actually didn't vet them. And now I'm having to deal with somebody because I didn't do the hard work and make the right decision and learn how to live with it over time.
Yep.
So now here I am blaming all my failures on somebody else.
Yeah.
And taking all the credit for the success. And so here's what happens. You'll just keep firing people, cycling through relationships, new friendships, because everybody else is the problem.
Yep.
The problem in my life is not me, it's everybody else. Yet the common denominator is you.
That's just it. Sometimes it's hard to look in the mirror and be like, well, this is happening on a constant basis. Right. So maybe there is a common denominator, and it's hard to like look at yourself in the eyes in the mirror and be like, well, okay, maybe it is me.
Yeah. And I think the way that can shift is what we're talking about. I think the way that can shift is, again, friendship, relationship, whatever. Your friends are going to love you if all of a sudden you stop making everything about you.
Yeah.
Quit making what y'all do for fun about you. Your person you're dating right now. Like, what would happen if you were like, hey, you know what? Let's do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, so like if you're a lady watching this, like your guy wants to go fishing with him.
Yeah. If
your girl wants to get a manicure, go get a manicure.
Let's get pedicures, okay?
She want to get Botox, get some Botox. But yeah, go too far here. Okay, we're not going too far. But funny confession. I'll confess it. I don't care. I do get Botox. Brotox.
Yes.
It's free to me. My wife works in dermatology. It's fine. Free ton of free samples.
God is good.
Some people get free samples of orange chicken. Your boy gets free samples of Botox sometimes.
Let's go.
I need some right now. It's been a while.
Saying, but
baby, if you're watching this, bring some home. You know what I'm saying? But I think that it's just figuring out how do I elevate the other person, serve the other person, and make them feel valued and seen. And in any relationship that you do that in, that relationship's going to grow. And it's going to get stronger. And people are actually going to want to be around you.
Yes.
You know, like they care. They know. Why? Because they know you care.
Well, and I kind of want to bring this up because I feel like this is a season of life that I'm in that I've been through already. But I have so many friends who are expecting their first kid in like literally weeks.
Okay.
One of my friends, she was posting on her Instagram stories the other day talking about how she is like the DIY princess. Like she loves to do a home project. She's so good at it. She's helped me with a few projects at my house. And she's throughout her pregnancy has been doing these projects around the house. And everybody's online like, just wait till you have that baby. You're never going to have time. You're never going to do this. And she's like getting really discouraged. And I'm like, this selfish mindset of like how kids ruin your life and they take all your time and this is that. And I'm like, if you prioritize, how we were talking about these decisions to prioritize things, you don't have, you're no longer selfish. So you're like, at that point, my kid, I want them to be a part of it. So I'm like, they can be a part of your DIY projects. Yeah. You know, sitting in a bouncer, swinging around while you're painting the wall, like whatever it is. And I'm like, this is
going to look different.
Yes. And a selfish mindset of like, I feel like the world nowadays. Yeah. My husband's cousin was just like, I would never want kids. They're going to ruin my life. I'll never be able to like do what I want to do ever again. And it's just like, it's so crazy how the world really has like twisted everything to make everybody feel so selfish. And you're like, no, it's not about me.
Yeah. But that's what culture's created.
Right.
Is everything is catered to an individual.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
The movies are now catered to you. Restaurants catered to you. It's killed the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie's is gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's why? It's like, because it's like everything is like how to make it quick, easy, accessible for you in the way you want it, the time you want it, how you want it, the color you want it, whatever. And like, we're living in a society where everything points to what I want.
Right.
And when I don't get what I want, I don't understand it. And they're all the problem because I should have what I want all the time.
Right.
And I think that like, that's fine, but it's going to lead to a lonely life. That's not how relationships work.
That's it.
It's not how parenting works. And I don't think kids make it worse. They make it harder.
Hard, for
but
sure.
Again, things in life that are worth having, they're going to be hard. You know?
Right.
And
but
like,
then also kids give you that mindset. Like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about something bigger. And about,
I think it makes you a better person.
It does.
I do. I don't care what nobody say. I know I'm biased. I'm a parent. I feel like I'm a better person now
1,000%
than I was then. I just am.
Agreed.
Because I've forced daily, like with every decision, like when to go to the bathroom, literally, like, or like what we eat, what we watch, what we listen to, what we're doing on the weekend. It's all filtered with other people in mind. Now, you have to, again, prioritize you. Right. Because if you ain't going to love them well, if you don't know how to love yourself, right? So, like, I'm all about, like, taking care of you, taking rest. But this, like, it can get out of hand with this self-care, whatever. Self-care and selfish aren't the same thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's like, I do want to make sure that I'm in a healthy place so that I can pour out.
That's right.
And that's the difference. I think it's like, oh, I want to be healthy for me. Okay, great. But I don't think God created you and is blessing you just for you. Yeah. I think God blessed you to be a blessing. God blessed you to make a difference. So God has given you everything he's given you, not to hoard for yourself, but to actually use for the benefit of other people. And when you do, you get blessed.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Jesus, like, hey, it's better to give than it is to receive. So how many times like we've received things, and the things we received that once were blessings now become burdens. Yeah. Why do blessings become burdens? Because you held on to them. Yeah. And so you will actually take the blessing. I don't care what it is, whether it be your time, your energy, your money, whatever. If I will take what I've received and go, okay, God, what does this mean for me? And what does this mean for other people? Help me use what you've given me to serve other people. Here's what will happen. Like as it leads your hands become open to receive more. Yeah. And I think sometimes the reason we don't receive more and we don't see promises like getting answered or even prayers getting answered. I'm not going prosperity here, but the reason why I think sometimes we don't see God give us more in our life is because we haven't ever let go of what he's already given. Right. And we're already so full and so fat that we can't get anything else in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's that like, hey, I'm going to bless other people. And as I do, I think God goes, you know what? I can trust you because you realize that what I gave you wasn't just about you. So he who's faithful to little can be faithful to much. If you know how to steward what you have and multiply what you have, why wouldn't I give you more? So good. And so we're complaining about things that we don't have, but yet the reason you don't have it, God says, because you don't ask for it. And when you do ask for it, it's with the wrong motive. It's for you.
Not for others.
It's not for other people. Yeah. And so I think you just got to see that like life is more than you. It's bigger than you. And when you can start to live that way, I think that's really where you start to make a difference.
Well, and this just came to mind. I know like it was several months ago, you preached the sermon about the 5 people that you need in your circles, right? And how that one person is somebody that you're constantly pouring into. Could I talk on that a little bit about how like it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, a thing like with your job or whatever. It could just be a friend or somebody that you're helping you know, steward into a different season or pouring your knowledge into them and making sure that you're bringing somebody up with you.
Right. Well, you just said it all right there. Yeah. I think you got to have, I think that the way I've become a better father is by having younger guys in my life that are entering in the phase I just got out of. Yeah. or that are stepping into the phase I'm in too. The way I've become a better communicator is I've created space for, if somebody wants to learn from me, I'm going to teach them.
Yeah.
Like if somebody comes up and they're hungry, like, bro, I want to learn how to preach like that, then I'm going to help. I'm going to help them. And what ends up happening every time is it makes me better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it to make myself better. I do it to make them better. But in the process, it blesses me.
Something.
You know what I mean? So I just think there's something special about all of us that we have to find a way to go, I got to live my life to help make other people better, and use what, like, you have what you have, not just for you. You have what you have because somebody else needs it.
Yeah.
And so now you got to figure out, okay, and sometimes it's wisdom. Sometimes it's your decision making. Like some people, like you just have a gift of wisdom. It may be finances. It may be knowledge. Like whatever it is. I just think we have a responsibility of the things, whatever it is that's blessed your life, you have to figure out how to use it to bless other people.
Totally.
And when you do, again, it just creates a new cycle instead of living in, and we talked about this before, and this is like, I talk about it in financial terms a lot. So again, this applies to everything. It's breaking the cycle of scarcity and living in a cycle of abundance.
Yep.
So don't make it about money, make it about your decisions, make it about that I don't want anybody else to take my job. That's scarcity. That is fear.
Yep.
That is lack. And what happens? You start to create a cycle of scarcity at work.
Yep.
And it ends up in your marriage, and then it ends up in your finances. And now you're afraid of losing everything.
Yeah.
Where an abundance mentality is like, you know what? I was blessed. First thing I'm going to do with what I've been blessed with is I'm going to give it away.
Yeah.
And trust that as I pour out, God pours in, and and it creates a new cycle of like, yo, God really does provide. So God gave it to me. Perfect. Now I'm going to figure out how to bless somebody else with it. And as I let it go out of my hand, God puts it back in my life.
That's right.
And again, you start doing it for the wrong motive.
Mm-hmm.
God ain't stupid.
Yeah.
He ain't going to be mocked. It's not like, oh, no. You're not giving $10 to get 10,000. That's not how this thing is going to work.
Yep.
It's just going, but will you be faithful with that? And
Yep.
if you'll be faithful with that, I can trust you with more.
Yep.
I can give you more responsibility, the scriptures say.
So good.
More money, more responsibility.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I want to be somebody who God can go, I can give heaven to.
Yeah.
I can
So
give
good.
as much responsibility as, like, if there is a need, I can trust you and go, here you go.
Yep.
Because I know you're going to figure out a way to meet the need, and it won't be about you.
Man, that's so good. You were blessed with cheesecake. You gave it away.
Come on, girl.
Hopefully there's going to be more, y'all.
And my voice isn't completely gone, but I've had to clear it a couple times. It could have been because of the cheesecake. I shouldn't have. I had a lot factor in.
Get rid of the water, okay?
Fiji, I got a bone to pick with you. I'm going to have to go back to Mr. Pibbs. Mr. Pibbs, where it's at.
So Mr. Pibbs or some, what's the other one we have? The liquid death waters.
Death.
Those are good too. Anyway, not an ad. Maybe one day.
That's right.
Just saying. But yeah, don't be selfish. Live life for other people. And we've got lots more to talk about in next week's episode.